Afternoon and good evening. I am Madhav Mitaban, the Sergeant at Arms of One Country, One World, and I am pleased to welcome you to this first inaugural session of the new team for 2021-2022. As you know, this meeting will be recorded. If ever you are uncomfortable or do not wish to appear on the video, you may turn off your videos. Otherwise, you can interact with us through the voice when given the floor, or in the chat, or with the reaction button. I remind everyone that Toastmasters is a place to build effective communicators and leaders. And without further ado, I'd like now to hand over the floor for her inaugural address to the President Annie. Over to you.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good day, fellow Toastmaster friends from One Country, One World Toastmaster Club, and from all over the world. Thank you for being our guest as well. I'm feeling extremely proud and energetic this morning because my big cup of coffee, maybe a little bit, but it's mostly because I'm taking on a great role for this year, which is the club president. I'm very honored. And guess what? Today is the very first club meetings of this new Toastmaster years. And as the club president, I want to set the tone right. Fellow friends, let's learn together and have lots of fun. And I wanted to indicate one thing. In this club, we have the gesture to clap like this. For our guests, you can give it a try. This is how excited we are. And we have a few guests today. I'd like to have them to introduce themselves and tell us how they are here and who bring them here, or tell them the information about our club. Let's take a look in our audience here. Bertie, are you there?
He has a problem with internet, so he tries to come back.
Okay.
He's from St. Martin, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Nadia. Let's move on to another guest, Irini from Cyprus. Hi, would you like to introduce yourself? You are muted. Please unmute.
Hello, everyone. I feel nervous at the moment. I don't know what to say.
Well, welcome. You take a look at our meeting, and then we'll let you bring your comment back. And then okay. We have, I'm just a little puzzling here. Mar, are you a member now?
Hi, Annie. I'm still a member, sorry. I've just been, you know, away for a little while, busy, and yeah.
Understood, no problem. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. So I'm Mark from Spain. I'm located in the Canary Islands. And yeah, I became a member of the club a few months ago, but as I said, I've been very busy and I have a double membership. So for me personally, it's hard to split myself. So I'm doing my best, and today I'm glad to be back here. And if I can be of any help, just let me know.
Yeah, welcome back, Mar. We'd love to have you, like even just a portion of you, that would be fine.
Thank you.
Okay, and our long-term friends and email. You want to say a few words? Okay, he disappeared. We know him, and we just want to bring him as a member as well. And we have a special guest today from Canada, my friend Glynis. Would you like to say a few words to us?
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much, Annie, for inviting me to your wonderful meeting. Congratulations to OCOW, I hope I'm saying that right, One World Toastmasters, for your chartering as well as completing the year and distinguished. You guys are such a distinguished group. Congratulations, Annie, on your appointment to president, as well as congratulations to the new executive team. My name is Glynis D'Souza. You'll know a little bit more about me when I speak later on today, so I don't want to reveal too much, but I am here in Canada and a good friend of Annie. Happy to be here. Thank you.
Thank you, Glynis. Okay, let's move on. And I'd like to introduce the Toastmaster of the day, which is an easy job because that's me. And you already know me so well. And I'd like to tell you the theme of today's meeting is the magic of new beginnings. Do you know why I chose this theme? Well, you already know. This is our first meeting of this new Toastmaster year. Do you have some memorable new beginnings that you have experienced in your life? How many of them has become something significant and life-changing? Looking back, are you feeling grateful for having them? Without those magic moments of new beginnings, we won't be here today together, strong, standing strong, isn't it? Right now, we're at a brand new beginning of this club. Another successful year for One Country and One World. And at this special meeting, I'm looking at everybody here to put some magical sparkle into the meeting to make this meeting memorable. Are you ready for that? Okay, and we wanted to let you know that there's a small highlight of today's agenda away from the regular meetings. And because this is the first meeting of the year, we will have a club officer installation ceremony. And today, as usual, we will have our inspiration master. I specially invited an old friend of this club, Emmanuel Ojewumi, to be our inspiration master. He joined Toastmaster in year 2017, and this year, he is determined to align himself with our club and enjoy every moment to be a Toastmaster. He has a secret plan this year, which is to open a multi-million-dollar organization. Let's all wish him a big success on that. His goal for himself is to further develop and engage with the global community. I think we can help him on that. Let's put our hands together to welcome Emmanuel.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. Have you ever been on a treadmill and it felt like there was no end in sight? That was how the year of the pandemic, 2020, appeared to me. Regardless, I can say that year 2020, despite the challenges, was one of the best years in recent times for me. And I'm sure that many people in the room can say the same thing. Today is day 191 of 365. This is the best time to pause, reflect, refocus, and realign our goals. How much of your goal that you set on the 1st of January 2021 have you been able to realize? I know a lot of us, we have different responses to that question. But as we hit the mid-year, this is about the best time to take a break. 5 minutes, 20 minutes, 3 hours, or a day to evaluate where we have done well, areas where we need improvements, and re-energize for the second half of the year. This was what I was doing some time ago, and I came across a book that likened life to a bucket. If you consider life as a bucket, you will have to think about it in 3 different ways. The first one that I saw in the book I read was that the fuller our buckets, the better our lives, which means that when all the buckets are spilling over, life is good. And once a bucket runs dry, there's so much pain. So if you have 2 buckets running low, you have a world of pain. Another scenario is, of course, sometimes the buckets might leak. And our job in such situations is to find a way to keep making them work. So every time you have to take stock of the quality of the bucket and the conditions to make sure that they are in good form and be filling them as much as you can. All the buckets are connected. So whatever part of your life is likened to a bucket, your relationship, your personal development, your family, and your work, they can all be likened to a bucket and all must be balanced. So if you are evaluating this 2021, how have you fared in each bucket? There's no better time to sit down, pause, reflect, realign, and refocus. There is something that we all say, that life happens. But again, your destiny is in your hands, and you can determine how you want to make this year go. However it has gone already, you have the power to make those projects, to make that relationship, and to put in the effort to make things work. Your destiny is in your hands. Take that break if you need to and make it work. Over to you, the Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Emmanuel. Everyone, are you inspired? Please check your bucket or buckets. No leaking, no damaging. And at this moment, let's start to put a lot of love and happiness into it. Let's start our actual meeting. I'm working with a great team to make this meeting possible. So this is the time to introduce all of them to you. Working on my side is my very, very valuable, lovely general evaluator, Straviana. She's a powerful lady. I will introduce her a little later because she have multiple hats today. And today at this moment, I'd like to have Straviana to introduce her team. Straviana, are you ready?
I am ready, and let me remind you that my name is Stavriana.
Straviana, I learned that.
Okay, good afternoon from Cyprus, everyone. Good morning, good evening, depending on where you are. I am very honored to be assigned your general evaluator for today. And I am very, very happy to have an amazing team to work with me. Let's start introducing them. First of all, I will introduce our timer of today, Sarinka. Please describe your role, Sarinka.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Today I'm the timer for the meeting, meaning I'll be timing as per the agenda that Noosh has posted in our chat at the minimum, so you're not going over time. At the ideal time to start wrapping up your speech, I'll be showing the amber card. And when you really need to consider stop speaking, I'll be showing the red card. That's the maximum amount of time you have been allotted on the agenda. Why do I do this? Why do I time the meeting as a mad brush all throughout? Is to keep us in time, to value time, and we learn and practice to share our message in the allotted time. Back to you, Stavriana.
Thank you, Sarinka. Next on the line is all the way from Australia, Tim, who is going to explain to us the role of the R counter.
Thank you very much, Stavriana. My role as the R counter today, I'll be listening out for filler words and inappropriate phrasings, repetition of wordings that can be substituted for filler words. This helps to provide guidance and feedback on how to improve your speaking process and flow throughout the meeting. Thank you. Back to you, to our General Evaluator, Stavriana.
Thank you, Tim. And next, all the way from Ireland, our grammarian of the day, Paul O'Mahony. Please explain your role to us.
The purpose of the grammarian in Toastmasters is to help everybody to have more impact in the way in which they communicate with other people. In other words, to notice the phrases and the words that are fresh and keep the listeners alive. In other words, it's about the quality of the language that you use. I will be throughout the meeting noticing things that I consider to be excellent quality. And if I notice anything that could be improved, I'll also report on that later on. I have two things for you to practice using during the meeting. One is a word, a very special word, which is chosen to fit in with the magic of new beginnings. And here is a word that stands for magic. It's in the chat, or would be in the chat, but the word is spawn. So to spawn, my goodness, I am having trouble. Excuse me. This is brought on by myself. Here we are. The word of the day is spawn, S-P-A-W-N. With the meaning of to spawn something, to give birth to something, to bring it into existence. And that's what the magic of today is about, bringing into existence a new beginning, the magic of today, the magic of today. So please use that word in your conversation today. And I have an additional magical challenge to you all, or invitation. I have a rhetorical device. A rhetorical device is a particular way of speaking. And the one I want you to do today is the rhetorical device of amplification. 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 It's the repetition of a word or a phrase a number of times in order to achieve emphasis. So the magic of today, the magic of it all, is to achieve emphasis. And I'll be reporting later on, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Paul. I also have a group of amazing evaluators, but I guess I will be introducing them at a later stage, Madam Toastmaster. Yeah, okay, so then back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Stavriana and your team. Great job there. They are the pillar of this meeting. Like Paul said, I'm looking forward to see this meeting and play its role to fun, more wonderful meetings in the future. And now I wanted to get you 200% attention as we are moving into the prepared speech session. But because we're a special club, we have some magic. Before the prepared speech, we added this session to lead you traveling the world and experience all kinds of cultures. Today, our tourist of the day and also the culture of the day would be one single person who is none other than our Geroid Murphy. Geroid has joined the Toastmaster in year 2016 in a club called Carlo. He was introduced, guess what, by his neighbor. He has specific role and goals today, this year. First, he wants to deliver more speeches. Second, he wants to join the contest because he missed that being an area director for 2 consecutive years. Thirdly, he wants to continue meeting and working with new people around the world. I'm sure we can help Geroid on that as well. I asked him what he would like to do like 10 years ago. He said definitely he would like to join Toastmaster 20 years ago and maybe also learn how to bump up his skills on web development. That would be really helpful for him today. Let's put our hands together to welcome Geroid Murphy.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. And how you found out all that information about me, I do not know. Today, I'm your tourist of the day. Now, you may see that my title is Ireland in front of my name. But amazingly enough, I'm not getting on a plane today to journey anywhere outside of Ireland. Did you know that within our island of Ireland, we have 2 separate countries? So my journey today is spawned from going across our border into Northern Ireland. So I am going to visit Belfast, Northern Ireland as a tourist. Belfast is about an hour and a half's drive from our capital, Dublin. It's a city with a population of about 630,000 people. It's known for many famous things, but one famous thing in particular. Now, I've started in the center of Belfast, and what a beautiful town it is. Some of these buildings dating back to the 1900s. Our first place we stopped off was in the town center, and we stopped at Donegal, the Donegal center of town, which is a little plaza. You can see Belfast City Hall in the background, a beautiful building with lovely copper towers at the top, and Donegal Street to the right, where you can, for the females among us, you can do all your shopping. But I think beautifully designed buildings and lovely to walk around. At nighttime, it is well lit up, and you've got Victoria Square. And just beside Victoria Square, it's not Big Ben like in London, but it's Albert Clock, which is another lovely site. And you can also pick up some nice presents or groceries and that by going to St. George's local market, which isn't very far of a walk from Belfast town centre. So I've seen Belfast town centre. Now, the most famous part of Belfast was that from before 1912, did you know that the Titanic and its sister ship, the Olympic, they were both built in Belfast by a company called Harland and Wolff. Harland and Wolff was a lifeblood of Belfast, creating employment around the city and giving many people a life sustenance. Harland Wolff unfortunately folded, but one of the big tourist attractions now is the Titanic Centre, where you can see relics from the Titanic, and they've also recreated some of the rooms and boarding rooms and some of the features that were on board Titanic. So you can read up there on the history of it. I've gone north now from Belfast to another famous tourist site, which brings in 1 million people a year. 1 million people, tourists, come here every year. So this natural phenomena of a volcanic eruption ended up in the Giant's Causeway, which is a basalt hexagonal feature, all interlocked. So this all spawned from a natural eruption. Now it's nighttime, we can relax, we can have Belfast craft beer, enjoy some traditional music, take in some food, and in the morning for our journey home, we can really enjoy an Ulster fry to give us energy for our return home. I encourage everybody to come and visit Belfast because I had a wonderful time. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Geroid. And everyone, please come back to our One Country, One Word meeting now. Don't stay there eating eggs and drinking beer. I hope everyone after this pandemic have a chance to visit Belfast, and that would be great to really experience it instead of watching those wonderful pictures. And our next speaker is Valerie Boutley.
Sorry, I'll do cultural. I just put a break in, sorry.
Okay, definitely. Okay. We're coming back to Geroid. Everyone, get ready to get to know culture parts.
Okay. So now I've returned back to Ireland, to my home, and I am now going to share my slides again. And I'm going to bring you up to date with my own country of Ireland. Interestingly enough, Ireland, as I said, is broken up into 2 different countries, but in the south, we call it the Republic of Ireland. I'm from a little place called Carlow, which is in the southeast. Ireland at the moment has a population of just under 5 million people, and it comprises of 26 counties. What makes Ireland so unique as a culture? Well, we didn't always have our own identity. At one stage, we were in fact under British rule. So prior to 1920, we were controlled, and essentially we didn't have our own republic. But that all changed due to certain political figures. They canvassed, campaigned, and struggled, and eventually brought us our freedom. And our Independence Act was signed in 1921. That led to us having our own identity as a republic, and every year we celebrate that as being a major part that we are the Republic of Ireland. We have our own culture. Even though we all speak English, we have our own culture and we have our own language. It's called Gaelic. And Gaelic is taught in our schools. It's a wonderful language. If we want to talk privately and we don't want you to know what we're saying, we can speak Gaelic. Our beautiful culture leads us to be lovely people. We're welcoming, warm, friendly, fun, and there's always a welcome mat on our door. There's always a hand stretched out for a handshake. And in our own Irish, if you came to our house, we would say, Céad Míle Fáilte Róid, 1 million welcomes to you. And if we want to say, you're welcome, we'll say, Tá Fáilte Róid. It's a lovely language, and we are very proud of it. Unfortunately, not spoken in all areas of the country anymore, but the further west of Ireland you go, you will find little communities that will speak that native language. And it is great that it's still kept going. So that is a very important part of our culture. Here we see our national flag. I'm sure everyone has come across that national flag because there's an Irish presence in practically every country. As part of our culture, we're great builders, but we claim to build everything in the world, the pyramids, everything in Rome, the Great Wall of China. We're great builders, but you will come across the Irish flag. So if you do come across some people are painting the gold red. I don't know why, for this weekend or the big match tonight. Our capital is Dublin. Dublin has, this is an older picture, but Dublin is a beautiful city and has lovely surrounds. It is next to the coast and has beautiful views of islands that are next to it, like Bull Island, Dalkey Island, and Howth Head. The one picture to the left is Howth Head, and on a beautiful clear day, it's lovely to take a walk up there and admire the view. And from Howth Head, you can see the tourists and the planes coming into and landing in Dublin Airport. On the right, you will see our main street, which in Dublin is O'Connell Street, and this is O'Connell Bridge. The Customs House is another important part where you see the River Liffey passing by. And so Dublin has, as a culture, we have many markets and many shopping streets in Dublin. This is actually Grafton Street. And again, it's now a pedestrianised place, but another place that you have to visit if you come to Ireland. What are we most famous for? We're not called the Green Isle for nothing. We're a very green country. We have beautiful tourist sites. Once you come around, our culture is very proud of it, like the Cliffs of Moher. If you go venture to the west, you will see these natural stone walls. These were often the walls or fences that protected your animals, your sheep, your cattle, and offered windbreakers to the animals. We have lovely beaches and many famous castles spread throughout the country, like Dunamase, the Rock of Cashel. So our culture is very proud of it, and it's something that we always consider, that we are a very green country. Our sounds, we all know U2. And the Chieftains have travelled the world, spreading the joys of our Irish traditional music. If you ever hear of the word crack, it's associated with Ireland. That if you come here as part of our culture, you have to have the crack. And that means singing with us, telling us stories, having fun, having entertainment. And one of our big exports was Riverdance, which travelled the world, which spreads two things, our music and our culture of Irish dancing. We have our own national sports that aren't played anywhere else in the world. We have a sport called hurling. This is supposedly and hopefully the fastest game in the world. We're very proud of that. It spawned from a mixture of cricket and tennis, and became a very, very attractive game here in Ireland. We also play Gaelic football, a mixture between soccer and rugby. It's supposed to be a man's game, but we're very proud of our women too. Our women play our national sports with the hurling called camogie, and ladies play ladies football. Every year we assemble in Croke Park. It's a big cultural day out, our All-Ireland final. It's like our Super Bowl. And our teams contest for the Sam Maguire Cup, the big one in the right bottom corner, and the Lee McCarthy Cup in hurling. We also have a very strong tradition in horse racing, and we take part in, we're very proud of all our other sports that we compete in as well. So I couldn't fit it all in about Ireland today and our cultures, but we are a very proud country, and we love our food. We love our fun. We love having the crack. But I think most of all, we want people to come and enjoy our culture. So back to you, Madam Toastmaster. I hope you enjoyed that experience.
Yes, we joined it a lot. And if we're missing anyone in the audience, I guess they are flying to Ireland now. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation, Geroid. And let's move back to our speeches and our next two speakers. The next speaker coming up is Valerie Bartley, and she joined the Toastmaster back in 2008. And in this year, her vision of herself is to continue growing her speaking and leadership skills. And she wanted to get to know more about our members as well. And there's one thing she wished she had started 10 years ago, which was writing a book about her life. And something she wanted to start this year, and she has already started it, which is to be trained to become a day hike leader and lead people to explore natural hikes. That sounds a fantastic job. Let's hear from Valerie. She's going to do a speech from the Visionary Communication Path, researching and presenting. The time will be 5 to 7 minutes. Please put your hands together. Valerie Bartley, a vacation worth taking, a vacation worth taking. Valerie Bartley.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today. I want to be a part of it. New York, New York. New York happens to be a place where many people come to experience what it is like to be in the USA. You might imagine, why do they pick New York City of all of the cities that they have in the United States of America? Well, I tell you, one of the reasons why people pick New York City is because we have great monuments, we have wonderful people, and yes, we have delicious food. When people come into New York City, they see the Statue of Liberty. The Statue of Liberty is most recognized as being the location where people came in by the millions in the 1920s to come and to reach for what they call the American dream. Because of this, the United States has become known as a melting pot. So when you think of the United States, you also think of the fact that we have 50 states. And of our 50 states, many of them are actually states that you would definitely want to visit when you come to this country. Now, I do not have sufficient time to go through each and every state. So therefore, I've decided to break it into 4 regions. We have the North region, the South region, the Middle West, as well as the Southwest. So just give me a second, please. Okay, so when we talk about the United States of America, we think about so many different areas. So therefore, one of the areas that we think about is the northern region. And in the northern region, we have the opportunity to visit Washington, D.C. Now, Washington, D.C. is known for having the most number of monuments and statues and places where you can just walk around and see people. It's also recognized as the area that actually holds the capital of the United States. Many people, when they go to Washington, D.C., they always visit the Washington Monument. At the Washington Monument, a lot of people have exercised their freedom to use their voices, to protest, to yell for things that they want changed, and also to triumph when they see the changes occurring. One of the things that you will notice if you were to visit the United States is that we are a diverse community. We have people from all over the world who live in the United States. We also speak over 430 languages. Wow. We do some amazing things in the United States. Now, one of the things that I don't want to be remiss in mentioning is that in the United States, we have a number of different foods. So when you come to the United States, you definitely want to make sure that you do not fill up on water, because you certainly would like to taste some pizza, because we have that great deep dish pizza. And I bet you didn't know that in the United States, Americans consume over 100 acres of pizza every single day. Wow. Now, when you go to the South region of the United States, you have the opportunity to hear some great music, like country western music. Some of you may have heard of Clint Black, or maybe even Faith Hill, or Reba McEntire, or Johnny Cash. Those are people that are very well known in the southern area of the country. And others who like to watch TV may have heard of the Texas Ranger with Chuck Norris. And now there's a new guy that's going around calling himself a Texas Ranger. Now, with these TV shows, they tend to exemplify a lot of what is good about Texas law. And it's a great opportunity to learn about this region. In the Midwest, we have St. Louis, and St. Louis has the gateway to the West, which is actually an arch. And through that arch, people were able to travel back and forth and create deals, meaning business deals, and trade that improved the United States. The other thing that I'd like to mention to you is the fact that in the United States, we also have the West, which includes San Francisco. And San Francisco is often thought of as the place where you can jump on a trolley and go from the east to the west. You also think of one of the most beautiful natural wonders you ever want to see, which is Lake Tahoe. It is known for its crystal clear waters and for the opportunity for you to ski in the winter and camp in the summer. It is a great place to go and see the sights. In summary and conclusion, I would like to invite you to come and visit the United States. Take the opportunity to visit the 4 different regions, to experience the people, the food, the tradition, and yes, the many languages. This is a place that you certainly would love to visit. And on that note, I would like to leave you with some words from Louis Armstrong, who was one of the greatest jazz trumpets of our time. He sang a song called "What a Wonderful World." I see skies are blue, the clouds are white, the bright blessings of the day and the sacred nights. When I think to myself, I think, what a wonderful world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Valerie. So everyone, we already have a one country, one word flight. We should also have one country, one word travel agency. A lot of talents here. And now we move on to our next speaker, who will be Staviana Antonio. Staviana has joined Toastmasters in year 2014. And she is a passionate interior architect and designer, and also our certified coach. So she has the magic power to create beauty outside and also inside of people. Her goal this year is to finish a path before Christmas and also add 2 more levels in a new path, very specific goal. And she wanted to see our club hosting the global meeting again. So Staviana, that is in the plan. And if travel back in time, she really wanted to start her career as a designer and as a coach many decades ago. That shows how much passion she has in those jobs. And today, she actually aiming to bring her service online to be available for more people. What a wonderful career development goal. And today she's going to do a speech from the Effective Coaching Path Level 4 to improvement through positive coaching. The purpose of this project is to share her experience on coaching another people or member or outside of Toastmaster. And this speech will be 5 to 7 minutes. Let's put our hands together to welcome our next speaker, Staviana Antonio, the dream of every coach, the dream of every coach, Staviana Antonio.
Okay. Kitty, 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 where are you? This is how it felt every time I had design studio coaching sessions with her at the university 15 years ago. She reminded me of a scared kitten afraid to go out and be. Whenever it was her time to show me her design work, I had to employ all of my coaching skills together to get her to talk and help her become a better student. What I could not realize then is that some people do not have an awareness of what is possible for them. They tend to minimize what they do and the goals they can reach, and for a strange reason, they think that others can do things that they cannot. Now I know that these people do this because they have a distorted self-image of themselves. They look at themselves and see all of their flaws and all of their weaknesses instead of all of their strengths and talents. This is where Irini was when she finished her BA, and this is where I found her about a year ago when our paths crossed again. We met for coffee, and she explained to me how she struggles to find a job, how she wants to be efficient in 3-dimensional drawings, how she dreams of becoming because she lacks the talent and the abilities. I explained to her that what she lacks is self-confidence and that this is something that she can develop. She agreed to join my self-confidence program, and at the same time, I would coach her to develop the necessary skills and abilities to develop 3-dimensional drawings. We started in October. I gave her a blueprint of a small kitchen I had designed, and she started developing the drawings. To help her create a better self-image of herself, or better the right self-image of herself, I gave her the task to list her positive attributes and all the negative attributes that she wanted to change, and then turn them into positives. she was doing exactly as I was telling her to do. Week after week, we would meet to answer her questions and check her progress. She was working very diligently, and I could sense her willingness to grow and eagerness. She was unstoppable. She's unstoppable. She's a Porsche with no brakes. She's so powerful. She needs no batteries to play. A few weeks into it, she started developing the first drawings. They were drafts, just like the image she had of herself, the person she wanted to become. But she was working and working and working on that. And she created a written description of herself and wrote it down every day, hence becoming emotionally involved with what she was feeling and who she was becoming. She created a vision board and would devote a few minutes every day to visualize herself and play out her life script and also her role in it. She was unstoppable. She's unstoppable. She's a Porsche with no brakes. She's so powerful. She needs no batteries to play. In January, she had her first test, a job opportunity where she could demonstrate all the skills she has learned. She started developing her folio, and she was working on it diligently, applying everything she was learning in our coaching sessions for 3-dimensional drawings as well as for self-confidence. She was really, really eager to get that job. She was unstoppable. She's invincible. She wins every single game. She's so confident. She's unstoppable today. She ended up not getting the job, and I admired her attitude when she announced to her coaching group that she's certain that something better will come along. Irini is the dream of every coach. She's like a sponge absorbing water to dispense it at the right time. And she was absorbing information to apply it at the right time. I was so fascinated at the growth I watched her experience that in such a short period of time, that I offered her a position in my design business. And I am sure that soon we're gonna hear her roar louder like a lion. She's so a champion. And I'm sure we're gonna hear her roar. Madam Toastmaster.
Woo! Everyone, please unmute and give her some cheering there. Wonderful job. Okay, that's a lovely. Congratulations to you, Irini, and she's present in our audience as well. Okay, let's move on to our next session, which is our CLAB executive team installation ceremony. The gentleman who will be chairing this part is none other than our immediate past president, Linusha. I know you have a lot of information about him. Well, he dedicated a lot of his creativity, initiatives, and energy and time to this CLAB. And he's going to be another set of pair sitting aside watching and cheering for this club and continue going on in this success. Sorry, if you are not speaking, please mute yourself. Yeah, and just a little secret about Thinusha. He wished that 10 years ago he has done this, which is to start his own business. But he is right now planning to put his hands on that goal. So maybe you will be surprised this year that he starts his own business. Let's cheer for him on that as well. Please put your hands together. Welcome our immediate past president, Thinusha Bamunurachi. Thinusha Bamunurachi.
Thank you, Annie, Madam President, and good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Toastmasters all around the world. So first, can we spotlight the outgoing officers? Paul, Shamila, Annie, Nuch, Patricia, Maggie, and myself. First, I thank all of you for accomplishments and salute for your service. You are discharged from all further duties and responsibilities as officers of One Country, One World Advanced Toastmasters Club. Thank you. And so, Master, please spotlight each of new club officer when I call their name.
Okay, apologize that this
install the office.
Technically it takes time. Okay, let me finish removing the spotlight first.
I'm here to install the officers of One Country, One World Advanced Toastmasters Club and to prepare them for challenges that lie ahead. Their collective challenge is to make this club strong and dedicated to helping people from all walks of life to listen with sensitivity, think creatively, and speak in an effective manner. As I briefly describe the responsibilities of each officer, I'll ask him or her to hold this virtual gavel as a symbol of leadership. Hope you can see my screen. The duties of the Sergeant at Arms are to reserve the meeting space with proper authorities, make sure all supplies and materials are properly displayed virtually at meetings, greet guests and members, and call the meeting to order at the scheduled time. As the Sergeant at Arms, will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Madhav doesn't seem to be responding. He didn't turn his video on.
Yes, okay. Moving to Club Treasurer, Distinguished Toastmaster Geroid Murphy. The duties of the Treasurer are to collect dues from the members, send the dues and the membership renewals reports to the Toastmasters International and pay the club's expenses. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will, yes. I will perform those roles to the best of my ability. And I take the gavel.
Thank you.
Yep.
Distinguished Toastmaster Sonia Monrose. The duties of the secretary are keep an accurate record of the members, submit officer list to Toastmasters International after the election, and keep the club charter, constitution, bylaws, and minutes. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, I will perform these duties to the best of my ability.
Thank you,
Thank
Sonia.
you.
Distinguished Toastmaster Patricia Mensah Lakai. The duties of the Vice President Public Relations are to promote the club to the social media, spread the word about membership programs, and attend Toastmasters events. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability? I hope Patricia is also not here.
Patricia isn't in attendance, I think, Tanusha.
Yes. Yeah. So let's move to VP membership. Distinguished Toastmaster Nuj Pradipta. As the Vice President membership, your duties are to conduct ongoing membership building programs, explain the educational program to prospective members and ask them to join, follow up on new members and absent members. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I will.
Thank you, Nuj. Distinguished Toastmaster John Bowling. The duties of the Vice President Education are to plan successful meetings to help members achieve their educational goals, orient new members to the Toastmasters program as soon as they join, and monitor members' progress. Will you perform these duties to the best of your ability?
I am happy to do so under this great leadership team. Thank you, Tanusha.
Thank you, John. Distinguished Toastmaster Annie Bai. Having been elected the president of the club, you are the chief executive officer and will be expected to preside at all club meetings and at all regular and special meetings of the executive committee. It's your challenge to see that this club enables its members to, it is your challenge to see that your club helps fellow clubs and Toastmasters International to meet their goals. Please accept the gavel as a symbol of your leadership and dedication to office. The gavel is a symbol of the power and authority given to you by the membership of this club. Use it wisely and with restraint. You are a member of your team and a leader. A team is more than a collection of people. It is emotional force rooted in the feelings, thoughts, and actions of all members with the support. Work with your team members to create a healthy, dynamic club which everyone will be proud. Will you, as the president, accept this challenge and perform the duties to the best of your ability?
Yes, it's my pleasure. I accept the duty and the gavel.
Thank you, Annie. And now I would like to invite Maggie, who's a co-founder of this club, to pin our new officers. It's my pleasure to declare these Toastmasters installed into the offices to which they have been elected. The growth and development of the Toastmasters program in One Country, One World Toastmasters Club depends largely on the actions of this group, on you to individually and collectively stand by this club, live with it, and work with it throughout the coming year.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes.
Yes.
And back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mr. Immediate Past President. I'm sure we will continue having his support in this new year and this new team. So, and representing all the members and the new executive, I want to say a big thank you to all the outgoing executive members, and especially Tanusha and Maggie, our initiator of this whole club, for their wonderful job and efforts and energy to put this wonderful club together. We'll continue the journey to keep things going well, and I'm sure you are always there to support us and to guide us with anything coming up. Thank you very much. Okay, so let's come back to our meeting. And with a little adjustment here, we're gonna move up our keynote speaker due to the time of this meeting. So Glynis, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Can you see me and hear me?
Yes, I can see you. I can hear you. Glynis D'Souza. She is my friend. She's my best friend and also my coach, I would say. Her job is to set high bars for me to reach and beat me up until I reach it. Let me give you some introduction of her. She's a excellent leader and facilitator and speaker and the John Maxwell leadership team. She has served in many Toastmaster leadership roles, and in year 2016 and 2017, she is a notably club growth director, and she was at the international convention and being awarded as a excellent growth director for that year. And she she believed that everything happens intentionally, not accidentally. She joined Toastmaster in 2010 in July actually, and she wants to do a HPL project this year to help a non-profit organization or a charity organization to succeed. And she has a wish for something she should have done 10 years ago. Guess what? Is to learn swimming. That's easy for you, Glynis. You can achieve it as soon as the lockdown is over. And she has something in the plan this year, which is to own her own, which is to buy her own home. And we'd love to see that happen, Glynis. And I hope a new beautiful home there is waiting for you this year. Without further ado, let's welcome our keynote speaker, Glynis D'Souza. And she's going to do this speech aligned with the Pathway Engaging Humor, Project Level 5 on delivering your message with humor. Please put our hands together for Glynis D'Souza. Design your growth. Design your growth. Glynis D'Souza.
Last Sunday, my neighbor Sammy knocked on our door, and when we opened the door, he said, "Guys, I have a problem. Do you know, every time I pull out a weed from my garden, 3 more weeds grow back. And you know about that squirrel I was telling you? She has made a nest on my front door and looking sneakily at the strawberries I've been growing. And I can't even begin to tell you about the rabbits. Those rascals are all over my garden. Do you guys have a BB gun that I could borrow to get rid of those nasty creatures?" We looked at Sammy and we looked at ourselves. Now let me backtrack. I live in Canada, and for us, summer lasts only 4 months. One of the big activities of summer is gardening. And believe me, gardening can be very, very competitive. You see it on social media. I've got fresh fruits and vegetables from my garden. Look at my lovely flowers. Neighbors competing with each other for the greenest lawn. Have you been there? Well, we in Canada have. And our neighbor Sammy was definitely our competitor. Every free time that Sammy gets, he is in his garden, watering the plants, designing the landscape, shooing away the rabbits and the squirrels. It's no wonder that he has the best garden in the whole neighborhood. I'm going to show you a slide of what Sammy's garden looks like. No wonder the guy was just worried with all of these pests that had spawned in his garden. Now compare and contrast my husband's garden, my husband and my garden. We like nothing better than to chill in the backyard deck with a few cold beverages and some spicy sausages on the barbecue. Soon enough, the aroma has attracted a small little party in our backyard. Gardening is the furthest thing from our minds. The only flowers that we have cultivated are strong relationships with the neighbors. Not sure because of us or because of those spicy sausages, but you get the picture. Hence, this is how our garden looks like. Sam's garden, we call him Sammy for short, is well designed, nicely manicured lawn. Don't laugh too much when you see our garden. Our garden is just an assortment of pots that we've grabbed from Home Depot and placed around in random haphazard fashion. No wonder we don't have a perfectly designed garden. You see, it is just like your own personal growth. From time to time, friends, I'm going to pause the share, so you may not see anything, but you will see me. And just let me know if you can see my screen again. Okay, that's a little bit tricky too, but I'm going to be doing it that way, just so that you're not on the slides all the time. But suffice to say that that's what I wanted to show you, the difference between designing your growth and really having a haphazard attitude towards it. What you grow will then spawn a flourishing garden of flowers. So what are some of the reasons why I don't have as flourishing a garden as Sammy? Looking at my own efforts, of course, I haven't taken the time to design it, But looking at yourselves, my friends, fellow Toastmasters in OCAW, it's your own personal growth garden that you have a chance to design. But as Emmanuel shared earlier today, there are certain buckets that you can grow in, and sometimes when there's a leak in your bucket, that can throw a whole different picture on your garden. For example, like those rabbits and those squirrels, there may be some pests that are polluting your personal growth garden. What are some of those pests that could be the obstacles or the gaps that could be hampering your goals, perhaps to be a world-class speaker, maybe to be a champion speaker like Annie is, maybe an evaluator, could be a business person. Somebody said they wanted to start a non-profit, a charity, a global organization. What are some of those things that may be our growth gaps? And so, resuming the slide, let's go to see what may be these squirrels and these pests, okay, the obstacles to growth. There are 8 main growth gaps that I'm going to talk about. First, the assumption gap. We assume we will automatically grow. You know what? Good flowers and fruits don't automatically grow in your garden. You have to be intentional about your growth. And if you're not intentional and you're accidental or you're haphazard, all you will get are weeds. You're right. So we cannot assume that you will automatically grow. You have to take the time to be intentional about your growth. The knowledge gap. I don't know how to grow. You know what? You are here at a world-class Toastmasters. You really don't have that obstacle because there's plenty of people here in this club with the knowledge that will give you to show you how to grow. So that cannot be an obstacle anymore. But that can be an obstacle if we don't have the knowledge on how to grow. Number 3, the timing gap. How many of you have been there? I know I've been there. There's a story that I've heard about 5 frogs sitting on a log, and 4 of them decide to jump off the log. Do you know how many are left on the log? I think I heard some answers, but all 5 are left on the log. Why? Because 4 of them decided to jump off. Did they actually do it? It's just like us. So the timing gap tells us it's not the right time to begin. You know what? I can do that tomorrow. That can be a big rabbit in your quest to grow and design your growth. The mistake gap. How many of us are in that category? I'm so afraid of making mistakes. Did you know that you don't need to make the same mistakes over and over again? You can actually learn from your mistakes and fail forward towards success. I've done so many mistakes, I can't even begin to count them. But the mistake gap can be one of them that can hamper your growth. Number 5, the perfection gap. I want to be perfect. It has to be the best way before I start. All my ducks need to be in a row. Guess what? Your ducks will never be in a row. There'll always be that one duck who tries to swim away. So the perfection gap, I know some of us are perfectionists. I have to find the best way before I start. No, it's like Nike, just do it. I can definitely say I suffer from a lot of gaps, but not the perfection gap. I have done so many things imperfectly, and that's why I have made some progress. Now, the 6th gap, the inspiration gap. I don't feel like doing it. Guess what, my friends? You have to feel, you don't have to feel like doing it. You have to act yourself into feeling it. There are so many times we don't want to wake up on a Sunday morning to attend a meeting, but you do it and then you get inspired. So the inspiration gap can keep us from our goals, from our growth. Number 7 is the comparison gap. And this is what we find on social media. You know, others are better than I am. Why even try, right? I mean, why even try speaking when Annie is the world champion? I mean, I might as well shut up, right? Just making fun of you, Annie, not so much, because I know you definitely are a world champion. But I mean, if you compare yourself to others, but do compare yourself when you want to grow. Don't be in a group that you are always the best one. Okay, so join a team like this particular Toastmasters Club where others do push you, not in a bad way, but when you compare yourself, you get inspired to be better. Okay, so a good comparison gap is good. And finally, 8, the expectation gap. I thought it would be easier than this. Guess what? Life is never easy. Okay, I was reading a post recently which said, you know, marriage is hard, divorce is hard. You choose your hard, right? And there was quite a few other things that they mentioned as well, but things are never easy. So the expectation gap keeps us, you know, thinking that I thought it would be easier than that. So these are some of the gaps. Try and think when you see it on the screen here, try and think which is the gap, or maybe 1 or 2 gaps that I fall into, that are those squirrels and those rabbits that are growing weeds in my garden instead of beautiful flowers and fruits. Okay, so design your growth. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about myself and how, you know, some of the goals that I have were able to be accomplished because I did a little bit of designing. But before I share that with you, I'd like to ask you, what are some of your goals for this year? Would it be physical, spiritual, mental, financial, professional, entrepreneurial, maybe relationship-wise? Think about what are your goals. Because Jim Rohn said, if you don't design your own life, you'll fall into someone else's plan. And guess what they have planned for you? Not much. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen again and show you what I have designed. Okay, my successes and my growth opportunities. My first success is my physical goal. Now, I'm at a stage where I really need to be intentional about my physical goals, and I'm happy to say that I'm part of a Fitbit group that we walk 10,000 steps a day. And I also work out with my friend Melanie at 3 p.m. every afternoon. We share a YouTube video on Teams and we do a half-an-hour workout. I'm happy to say, because I designed that, I'm on track with my physical goals. But one thing I'm struggling with is my chocolate habit. This is what I went through while preparing for this speech, a whole bag of chocolate cashews. So if you can tell me a way to stop me from putting chocolate in my mouth, I would really appreciate it. There's a Japanese word called kuchi sabishi, which means lonely mouth. And I suffer from that. So my physical goals have been met, but my chocolate goals are still yet to be met. Next, my mental goals. I used to love reading as a child, but lately I have actually kind of transgressed from that. So I joined a book club at work, and I also joined a book club in my business networking group. I'm happy to say that accountability works for me, and I've managed to read 6 books so far, which is actually a good, really good achievement for me. My spiritual goals. I love to get up early in the morning, but I somehow never used to wake up. And so one of the books that I read was by Mel Robbins called The 5-Second Rule. And she says, put your alarm clock or your phone in the bathroom. And you know what? When it rings, you have no other option but to run out of bed and switch it off. That was worth listening to 8 hours on Audible for that one small little tip. So spiritual goals have been achieved because I'm waking up earlier. But if I were to be vulnerable and share with you, some of the things I struggle with is financial goals. I've been a kind of go with the flow kind of gal. And so my financial goals have suffered because, sometimes I kind of reward myself without planning. And so this year, one of the things, and I'm definitely going to design better, is my financial goals. And you heard that I would like to buy my own house. The second thing is business goals. I suffer from shiny object syndrome. And so a lot of things attract me. I've recently enlisted the help of a business coach to keep me away from that syndrome. And finally, relationship goals. Sometimes I can get into a attitude where I think I'm always right. And so these can affect my relationship goals when, especially my husband and I, don't see eye to eye. And so one of the things that I've learned to do is to be kind rather than to always be right. So those three are the goals that I'm still working on. But coming back to the garden that we are going to design, what are some of the things that you can do? One of the things is reflection. Reflect at the end of the day, at the end of the quarter, perhaps at the end of the year, to see how you are doing with your goals. The second thing is organization. Organize your calendar in advance. The third thing is advanced planning. Don't leave things to the last minute. Advance plan. The fifth thing is association. Associate with people who want you to succeed. Time optimization. What is your best time of day? For some people, it's the morning. For me, it's the night. I'm a night owl, but I have to watch it that I don't eat too much of chocolate at night. So that's my advice to you, is find the time that works for you best. And finally, join me in designing your growth. I have seminars that are coming up. You can check on my website based on this book that I was talking to you about today from John Maxwell, called The 15 Invaluable Laws of Growth. And so I encourage you to join me to further your growth. In conclusion, like that garden that Sammy was telling us about, our physical garden doesn't look too good, but I'm sure that with a little bit of designing, my garden and your garden is going to look top class, spawned with lots of colorful flowers and fruit. With that, I am going to be singing a small little song for you called Toastmasters Champions, because all of you are Toastmasters champions. And so let me get my little mic here and start my song. It's on the Queen's We Are the Champions. So join in if you can, okay? Toastmasters champions, it's true. And we'll make great leaders out of you. Learn how to lead here. Learn to succeed here. We speak with passion. We are Toastmaster champions of the world. Thank you, and back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Woo! Thank you so much. Yes. Any one of you have been write down notes. There's a lot food for thoughts, right? Chocolate or whatsoever, you're presenting those to us and for us to take in. And that's going to be very helpful to design our garden, design our life, design our future growth. So thank you so much, Glynis, for bringing us this wonderful presentation. Everyone, if you enjoy, put a little heart on your window.
Thank you.
Thank you, especially the singing. Thank you, Glynis. That's a task I give it to her because she's my friend. She has to be asked for something special, and she delivered it. Thank you so much, Glynis.
Thank you, Annie, for having me.
Okay, let's move on into our next section, which is the evaluation. This is what we Toastmaster always looking for. And this is where we get those very helpful feedback so we can grow fast and grow into whatever we design to go. And for this session, I'd like to give it to our lovely general evaluator, Staviana. Staviana, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. I have a question before we proceed. Don't we have a table topics session today?
We had a chat with our VP of Education. Due to the time, we will probably take table topic out from this meeting and move it for future.
Okay, wonderful. So in order to help me with my report, I am going to kindly ask our timer, Sarinka, to provide the times of our speeches.
My apologies, because normally timing is at the end, so I wasn't prepared. One moment, please. So we started on time. The intro lasted 4 minutes and 42 seconds. Our inspirational master spoke for 4 minutes and 42 seconds while he had 3 minutes. Myself did the introduction in 1 minute and 13 seconds. And we all had a minute at the start, but Paul that had 2 minutes. So let me see. Staviana, I think I need to group my thoughts.
That's okay.
Let me go
That's
to
okay.
tourist of the day. Yes, tourist of the day. Geroid spoke for 4 minutes and 5 seconds. Our culture master spoke for, who was Geroid, spoke for 7 minutes and 46 seconds. Valerie spoke for 7 minutes and 36 seconds. Yourself, Staviana, spoke for 7 minutes and 1 second. Our installation lasted for 10 minutes and 13 seconds. And our guest speaker, Glynis, spoke for 18 minutes and 23 seconds. And I assume I'll come back to give the timing of the speech evaluators. Back to you, Staviana.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sarinka. I was actually only looking for the speeches and not the, to provide the evaluator some more time to think, because we didn't have the table topics. Therefore, I wanted to.
No worries. Yes. No worries. No worries.
Yes. Sorry to interrupt, Staviana. I'm just checking the time with our VP of Ed as well. We can have a small section for the table topic. Should we bring it back at this moment?
Whatever our VP of Education says.
Yeah.
Thank you for that, Wendy. I know we talked a little bit in the chat room. Perhaps we could do 7 minutes to 9 minutes of table topics. Are we good? Yes, I see a nod.
Sure.
Very good. Thank you, Wendy.
Sorry for the confusion. So all yours, Wendy.
Thank you, and all the best to our new charter board and our former team. All of you are doing an amazing job. I would like to have 3 volunteers while I explain briefly what is Deception about. I believe new beginnings is all about dreaming. You're right? So after a dream, you follow like a new beginning. And usually, I don't know, when you were 5, you used to dream to be a fireman, astronaut, teacher. when we moved to 15 years old, we used to dream to be maybe singers. I can realize that from our session. That some of us were dreaming to be singers. But I'm going to let you explain why you want to be an object. Why are you dreaming to be an object? So I'm going to ask 3 volunteers, maybe people that is not taking part. I'm not sure if Mar would like to take the plans to take part in our table topic. Who else? I'm gonna check who isn't having, maybe Dean? Would you like? Any other brave volunteer? And Jean? Okay, 3 volunteers. You can also sing and expound however you like, where you would like to be, or how can you expound being this subject. So I would like to start with Mar. Mar, I'm gonna show you my screen and we are going to select the first object. So just be ready, tell me a number.
Can I choose number 2, please?
Okay, Mar. Mar, why would you like to be a lamp? Dear audience, Marcano is going to share with us why she is dreaming to be a lamp.
Always look at the bright side of life. Of course, who wouldn't have dreamt of being a lamp to give some light and shed light to people, in whichever scenario you are. So yes, when I was little, I dreamt of becoming not a lamp, but of becoming a teacher. When I grew up and I was a teenager, I wanted to become a hairdresser. And well, in the end, I became a super teacher. And I think that I could connect that with this lamp. You might be wondering, Mar, how can you connect a lamp, with the fact of being a teacher? Have you ever thought about being the light for others, being the light for learners, in my case, as a teacher, and yes, just sharing and giving opportunities of growth to learners of any ages, yeah? And that's where I think I can connect my soul as a teacher with the soul of the lamp. And sometimes, only sometimes, you may need to turn the light off so you can let other people be the light and share that light. So back to you, table topic master, and remember, always.
So many talents. Mars, thank you so much. I'm sure you are live for many people, including me. Let's move to our next participant, Dean. Dean, can you pick up a number?
About 7.
7. Frisch. Dean, tell us why your dream will be to be a Frisch.
Well, if you've ever felt hungry in your life, you know that horrible feeling that you want to eat something, you're not quite certain what it is. And if you're a guy, most of the time you spend your time with the fridge door open, just kind of staring into it like it's some sort of abyss, trying to figure out what of all the numerous choices there you actually can have. Ladies with husbands, you can back me up on this, right? The guys just kind of open the fridge and just, in fact, my mom would always say that, why do you leave the refrigerator door open? It's because there's so many choices in there. How can you possibly choose? Ketchup, and there's all sorts of things with maybe ice cream on top. That sounds pretty good. Or maybe you want a hot dog. Which one are you gonna have? If you were the fridge, you wouldn't have to choose. It would already be there. You wouldn't have to open the door. The door would be you. This sounds like just the greatest thing in the world to me. I mean, if I was a guy, I wouldn't have to choose anymore. I could have everything in the fridge all at once. And I think that's really every guy's fantasy. I was kind of opening the fridge and thinking, why can't I just have it all? Why can't I just eat everything that's actually inside the fridge? And then that would eliminate this whole problem about staring here and looking into the fridge the whole time. So I think it'd be the greatest thing in the world to be a fridge. Because if you are a fridge, then all of a sudden you can just say, okay, I got it. I understand. Everything there is mine. Everything there is happening. I don't have to decide anymore. I don't have to worry about the fridge door. I don't get yelled at all the time and having the fridge open. That's it. I want to be a fridge. I'm going to identify from now on as being a fridge. Thank you for inspiring me. That's my goal for that. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to be the first fridge out there. Make it happen. Live your dream.
Thank you, Finn. I'm just willing to see that. I'm sure you are in the right way. You are going to do everything, and too many things are going to spawn of being a fridge. And Jean.
I'll have number 8, please.
Number 8. A bowl. Jean, tell us why your dream is to be a bowl.
Fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests, I have always dreamed to be a bowl. I've not always known what kind of bowl to be. Did I want to be a tennis ball speeding backwards and forwards across courts and being whacked by great big nets by really strong people? No, I wasn't so keen on the tennis ball thing, a bit painful. I did think about being a basketball. Now, basketballs are fun because they bounce up and down, they see the ground, they see the sky, and then they get to float through the air and almost inevitably, when I am the ball, go into the net. So I have thought about being a basketball, and yet the ground seems somewhat hard. I have considered being a football and flying far through the air, far less contact between the kicker and the flight, and especially the opportunity to float into a goal. Today is the final of the Euros football, and a number of people that I know and care about are very excited about the football. There are people from England and there are people from Italy, and then there are people from all sorts of other places who are very excited about this match. So would I want to be the ball in that match? I have to admit, I'm not a great big football fan, but being the ball might just give me that skin in the game I need to really connect with what's happening on the pitch this evening. So thank you for the opportunity to be a ball. I will be the ball in the middle of the pitch tonight. So if you're watching the final, I'll be there.
Thank you, Jean. I didn't realize about being a ball and the different roles that we can take, the skills that requires. Now I'm thinking what kind of ball I would like to be. That's a nice challenge. Of course, I'm going to keep an eye on you during the match today. And I gave the control back then to all our participants, the lamp, the fridge, and the ball, because they were sharing with us their dreams. I gave the control back to our Toastmaster.
Wow, wonderful table topic. We can't miss this. So much fun. Now, Staviana, yours.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. So let's move right into our evaluations of the speeches. First, we have the evaluator of Valerie's speech, Nuj. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmaster, and guests, especially the speaker, Valerie. Thank you for taking us to this trip to the USA. It's a trip of vacation worth taking indeed. I like to evaluate Valerie's speech on 3 areas. The first one, the call to attention. Second, call to adventure. And third, call to attention, call to action. First, call to attention. She hooked us right at the beginning with a beautiful song about New York. And indeed, you promised us during the webcam contest or workshop that you will sing at this first meeting, and you did. Thank you. Such a beautiful speech, and also a well-researched, structured speech, organizing from the beginning, starting from the north of America to the Middle West, to the south, Midwest, south, and Midwest, and to the Southwest. And what I like is the nostalgic, that she spawned my nostalgic memories of the USA. I miss traveling, and your speech just make it feel my dream come true. What I would like to suggest, call to adventure first. The call to adventure is you take us on the trip to the USA, the whole country from the 4 regions. And we can see the difference in people, in tradition, in culture, and in food. And we can see clearly. And call to action, you also call us to action at the end. Visit USA. And what I would like to maybe suggest is, first, I noticed the technical glitch about the slide. So perhaps if you can test it before the speech start, at the beginning of the meeting, how it works, maybe it helped. And that would also help to reduce the time of 7 minutes, 36 seconds, because I think the technical glitch took the time from your speech. And the second is, I heard some flipping of paper. It's okay to flip the paper, but I think you might catch the sound very fast. So perhaps next time, flip slowly, or the sound won't come out. And the last one, what I would like to suggest is, please do not say thank you. We need to say thank you to you because it's such a beautiful speech. What I would like to challenge you, you end up with this Louis Armstrong lyric. So I would like to challenge you to sing also, beginning, sing, and the bookend, sing also the Louis Armstrong music. That will make a perfect day, a perfect speech. So thank you, Valerie, and congratulations, you meet the project objective. Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Nuj. Next, we have Jean evaluating me, my speech better.
Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator and Speaker. I was focusing on 2 things for my evaluation here. One was the idea of the coach expressing her experience and bringing that across to us, which was a focus of the project. The other was that I was paying attention to Stavriana's voice, because she said to me that she would like me to look out for some things to do with her voice and speed. So I had these 2 focuses in my evaluation. I'm going to start off with the first one around the coaching. So this was about the experience of being a coach and taking somebody through their journey as they spawned their own confidence. And I really felt like this was a hero's journey. It was about this lady who had gone through the experience of feeling like this scared kitten and becoming this confident lion. So we had a lovely story arc where we went through this journey with this lady from the perspective of Stavriana, her coach. And I particularly wanted to highlight a couple of things that really stood out for me. One was the techniques that Stavriana used in her coaching, things like using the list and using the storyboard, that kind of brought to life to me the kind of steps that she took to support her coachee. I have a couple of tips when it comes to expressing that experience. One, because this is about Stavriana explaining her experience of coaching, I would also love to know a bit more about what it was like for Stavriana to be the coach. What did she learn as a coach as she went through this process? And the other is to turn the lens back on the coachee. A lot of the story was, she did this, her experience. And what I would like is a bit more dialogue between Stavriana and her coachee to really bring us into that situation. So that brings me onto the question of voice, because we've entered into dialogue. So Stavriana was concerned that she was too fast, and I didn't think she was too fast. I thought that she had lovely vocal variety throughout her speech, and that there were some particular points where emphasis really helped. So there was a point where she said all of their flaws, all of their weaknesses, all of their talents. And that punching on the all really gave us variety and really emphasized her point. And there was also a point where her passion really came out to me, where she talked about how she dreams. There was a way that she said that gave us all of that emotion, as well as the facts of what Stavriana was saying. And of course, singing does seem to be the mode for today. And I thought there was some brilliant singing going on here. And I was getting into the swing of it, shall we say, towards the end. And certainly the audience got into it. We had suggestions of Milli Vanilli 2. I'll have to go back and listen now to my 1980s hits to work out really what that is. Vague memories of discos at the age of 20, I have no idea. Anyway, so that was really appreciated by me and the audience. My tip is to take Nush's tip. Let's bookend the singing so that we know from the start this is a musical, and then we can have that coming all the way through. And we don't have to explain why are we singing. It's just a song. It's a musical, and then we don't have to explain. Otherwise, we need to explain. In summary, I thought this was a really great explanation of coaching. We saw the hero's journey, some tips around voices and about sharing perspectives, really strong vocals. Don't worry about speed. Love the singing. Let's bookend the musical. Over to you.
Thank you, Jean. Now, to evaluate our table topic speakers, we have Joan.
One singular sensation, every little speech they make. I thought I'd keep in the genre of what our musical New Year is all about for One Country, One World. I had the pleasure of taking the very creative Wendy's table topics and evaluating 3 table topics, presenters. And first, Sarinka, how much time do I have? Please help me with that.
Joan, you have for evaluation of your topics 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you very much. I appreciate
You're
that.
welcome.
Our first table topic speaker was Mar, and she chose number 2, which is the lamp. She started off singing. Beautiful to see her back in the group, as well as her singing. And the lamp, what do you do with it? Well, she asked the rhetorical question right off the bat, which gave us room for thought. And then she jumped back into her childhood of, I always wanted to be a teacher. So how do you connect a lamp with being a teacher? She actually asked that question again. You have the philosophical, the lamp, shine the light, which a teacher does to inspire the students. A lamp does to inspire the light in the room. That gives us opportunities for growth. So the soul of the teacher lives within the light of the lamp. What a beautiful rhetorical framework right there. Very curious and interesting that at the end, she wrapped it off by turning the light off so that you could see others' light shine. And then she ended up with a song. I love the presentation of the lamp for the table topics. The only thing that I would make a recommendation for, Mar, and I might have missed, was earlier on in the transition from where you took the lamp to the transition for the teacher, there was something in the middle. And as one of my presentation coaches has said to me, I would trade my mother for a good transition in a talk. So again, I know it's table topics. It is spur of the moment. That is one thing that I missed, but what a great table topics presentation. Our second table topics presenter was Tim. Ah, how apropos that he chose number 7, which was the fridge. And the fridge represents wealth of food, nourishment, new beginnings. There is no end to what you will find, good or bad, chocolate or not, in a refrigerator. Then he took it into the gender role. The guys, what guy doesn't want a full fridge? Then he tossed it out to the audience. Wouldn't you want a full fridge as well? To be able to have it all. That's the goal. That's what we're talking about today, which is new beginnings. He became a cheerleader for the session, for the object, for you. And Tim is very good at tossing that back out into the audience. As always, I love Tim's energy. I love his excitement. I love the intensity, but with any intense emotion, you got to take a break. So what I would encourage as you're doing the build is to take a stair-step stop with a breath or a period before you ascend to reach the height. That would be my recommendation as a tip for you, Tim. Thank you very much. Our last speaker was Jean. She chose number 8, the ball. And she embraced the object. She leaned right into it. And she took rather a Wikipedia look at the ball, a tennis ball and what that might represent, a basketball and what that might represent, and a football and what it does represent. She also took sides from time to help us out rhetorically with such beautiful phrases as float into the air. And with that lovely accent, it gave it a little bit more lift. She took the ball and the current events and she elevated it to make the connection for July 11th, 2021. Now, the recommendation that I would have for you, and it's one of the joys and the blessings of One Country, One World, is I'm not sure what in the middle of the pitch means. And I am a huge football fan. And of course, we know in the US, that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, and that's that football, which is a different look than what it is in Europe. So maybe there could be just a short connection or explanation from those of us for other countries as far as different phrases that might apply. Loved what I heard, loved what I saw, loved what I felt from all 3 of the Table Topics presenters. And back to you, Sabriana.
Thank you, Joan. So now we go back to Sarinka, our timer, to provide us with the remaining times for our table topic speakers and the evaluators.
Thank you, Sabriana. Back to my reporting.
Okay.
Our table topic speakers were all in time. Mark, Tim, and Jean, if they were competing, they may all have had a fair chance. They were not disqualified. Our evaluators can work on their timing. She had 3 minutes and 48 seconds. And Noosh Oh, the other way around. Noosh had 3 minutes and 48 seconds, and Jean 4 minutes and 25 seconds. And Joan evaluated our two fantastic table topic speakers in 4 minutes and 14 seconds. Back to you, our general evaluator, Stavriana.
Thank you, Sarinka. You did a great job with the times. Next, I would like to invite our counter to provide us with his report.
Thank you very much, Stavriana. The champions of the R counter today with no new filler words was Valerie Barty. And I'm really impressed with all the table topics. I didn't pick up any filler words from Ma, Tim, or Jean. And the evaluators were fantastic, Noosh and Jean with no filler words. So congratulations to those speakers with no filler words. The other, and one special was Stavriana with your speech. You did not have any filler words, so congratulations with your speech. With others with filler words were Stavriana in your general evaluator. You have 3 so far. With Annie, the Toastmaster of the day, you have used 4 ums and 6 Rs. Gerard, who was our tourist of the day, had 4 Rs. In a cultural one, he must have taken a bit of an Irish leap here, had 11 Rs. Danusa had 1 and 2 Rs. 1 R, 2 ums. Wendy for table topics had 1 R. And Joan Bowling had 2 Rs. Our guest speaker today had 1 and 2 Rs. Other filler words I noticed was a couple of speakers who had some mispronunciation and repeated the word. So that I felt that was a little bit of, they lost focus a little bit because they had said most of the word and then repeated that word. So just be careful of, be confident and just keep and pronounce the word in full without those shortcuttings. Otherwise, that's the R counter for this week. Thank you. Back to you, Stavriana.
Thank you, Tim. And now it's Paul's turn as the grammarian to deliver his report.
Thank you very much. I have a little quiz for you all, which is in my report. May I ask if you can see that? I have the quizzes at Grammarian. These are fine phrases. Who used the phrase realign our goals? Quick, unmute yourselves. Who said that? Realign our goals? Pardon?
Emmanuel.
Correct. Who said the pillar of this meeting?
Annie.
Correct. Who said there's always a hand stretched out for a handshake?
Geroid.
Correct again. I don't know who this voice is. Who said they tend to exemplify?
Linus.
Okay, we'll move on. Who said when our paths crossed again?
Stavriana did.
Correct. Who said have a haphazard attitude?
Linus.
Glynis, did you say Glynis?
Yes.
Who said she was unstoppable?
Stavriana.
Thank you. Now, look, I want to highlight Stavriana. She's the only person at the entire meeting who used the rhetorical device of amplification. Thank you very much, Stavriana, the only one. You're standout today. Who said new beginnings is all about dreaming?
Wendy.
Very good. I think I forgot to write their name down. Who said bring the light for others?
Marcano.
Marcano.
Correct. Who said I'm going to be the first fridge?
Team.
Who said skin in the game?
Jane.
Jean.
Who said turn the lens back?
Wendy.
Ha, you got one wrong. It was Jean. It was Jean. Okay, that's just fantastic. I want to compliment Claude, Glynis, Wendy, and Nooch for using the word of the day. Fantastic. Garode used it twice that I noticed. And I've got a couple of two tiny recommendations for you then. Instead of saying it's great that, say something like it is phenomenal that. Instead of saying I would like to invite you, say I invite you. That finishes the grammarian's report. Thank you very much, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you, Paul, for an amazing report. That was really very interesting and original. Now let's move on to my report as the General Evaluator. We had a magical new beginning in our Toastmasters year with a wonderful meeting. We started on time and Emmanuel pointed out to us how important it is to have our bucket full with things that we want to do and achieve in our lives. Now, this is a very good start for a new Toastmasters year and a very good start for a new meeting. It made us think of everything that we want to do. With the word of the day, SPAN, Paul generated excitement throughout the meeting and also challenged our members, especially the non-English speakers like me who have never heard of this word. We had a wonderful trip to Ireland, the North and the South, and Geroid, you really took me through a trip through memory lane because I remembered the whole year that I spent in Ireland. And I am sure that the people who never visited Ireland, they are very eager now to visit Ireland, and you managed to perform your role as the tourist of the day and the cultural master in a beautiful way, because that's why we have this session. Our speeches today took us through a magical Broadway show. Valerie with her speech, A Vacation Worth Taking, and me with the Dream of Every Coach. And our outgoing president, Tinusha, performed a magical installation ceremony. And I am certain that the new club officers will lead us through a thriving year in Toastmasters, just like the previous one did. Glynis, our guest speaker, reminded us that we need to take care of our mindset garden when we set out to achieve a goal. And she did an excellent job explaining everything that we need to look after. For the table topic session, Wendy has provided again a very interesting and original session, like always. Thank you, Wendy. In overall, it was a wonderful meeting. And one thing we should all notice would be that if there are any changes in the agenda, everybody should be informed about the changes, maybe in the chat or maybe through a message or something like that, a private one. I am really looking forward to experience our club roaring this Toastmaster year. Back to you, Madam President, or maybe Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Staviana. And thank you for all our role takers, and you did a fabulous job. I apologize that we ran a little over time, but I hope you all agree we had very rich content for everyone to participate for this wonderful meeting. At this part, I'd like to invite our guests to give some comments. And let me just check on, is Verti, right? Sorry, do we have our guest. From Malaysia, Dong, are you there?
Hello, Annie.
Hi. Hi.
Yeah, I'm
Do you
afraid
like-
I can't on my video because of my connection is really weak. So
Okay.
to avoid being disconnected halfway, I just want to thank BT for inviting me here to this meeting. It's just amazing. I've learned so much today, and I hope to join you again soon to get to know you all more. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. It's great to have you here. Thank you. And from St. Martin, sorry, couldn't see the name from St. Martin.
Glenys here.
Glenys here? Sorry.
Yeah.
Would you like to give some comments?
So this is my first time at the meeting, really attending from the beginning to the end. And I really enjoyed comparing to our regular meetings. I find that there's a lot of creativity, and I truly love the part with the cultural and the traveling to Ireland. I'm sure that one day I will reach to Belfast. So I really enjoyed your meeting.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your feedback. I hope you come back to our future meetings. And also from Cyprus, Irini. You need to unmute.
Hello from Cyprus. How are you? Thank you for having me here. I'm so grateful that I'm here today. Thank you very much, Professor Vienna, for bringing me to this meeting. It was very inspirational. All the speakers, I love what they said. It was perfect. I love it. It was magical. All the atmosphere, the singing. You know, because I love music. I love this part of it. I'll take up to this to sing. I like very much the atmosphere. Thank you very much for this.
Thank you for coming today. I wish you will come back to join us in the future as well. Okay, and I think I covered most of the guests, and I wouldn't ask you, Mar and Emmanuel. I think Glynis had to leave a little earlier. We had a wonderful meeting, but I wanted to say that this meeting will definitely spawn more wonderful meetings in the future. Coming up on the July the 25th meeting, we will have a fabulous Toastmaster who will be Paul Mohani. And also our general evaluator for that meeting will be Rosemary. So make sure you book your role for July the 25th. Again, we will have a keynote speaker from my district. His name is Neil Dunsmore. He is multi-time district champion on different category of competition. He's a very powerful speaker with a great sense of humor. I would say he's my coach too. He was coaching me when I was pursuing what was my competition in the district. So make sure you book your time to be here. I'm sure he's gonna deliver a wonderful keynote speech there. And on the way, I'd like to invite every single members to reach out for your district's speakers and fabulous experienced speakers and coaches to be our guest speaker in the future meetings. If you could book the time, communicate with our VP of Education, June, and we will definitely slot those meeting time for them, and they are welcome to present in our club. And also, please talk to June on your personal development, design your future, right? If you are planning to achieve certain goals in this year with our help, talk to her. She will be there to support you and put you into the right time to deliver those speeches and roles. We are here to support you. This is a beautiful beginning of our club in this Toastmaster year. And I'm grateful for all our previous executives, Thanusha and Maggie there, for being our biggest support over time. And new beginning is always great. It's always running more beautiful things coming in our way. And with that, I'd like to conclude this meeting and wish everybody a marvelous Sunday. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon.